definitely good to get this next guest on the line. You know, I'm very intrigued with this individual coming off of some sensational victories in his past few fights. He is the current IBO World Welterweight Champion, Chris the Heat Van Heerden. Champ, welcome to ATG Radio. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you on here this evening.
Thank you guys for having me all the way from Vegas and from out of here, from South Africa. Thank you for having me on the show. It's a big opportunity and it's a blessing for me, and I really appreciate it, guys.
You know, Chris, you just mentioned, all the way from South Africa, and recently boxing has lost, one of the greats to come from your country, from your continent, and former world heavyweight champion, the sniper Corey Sanders. You being a champion from South Africa, what kind of impact has Corey Sanders had on your career, while he was alive and now that his recent passing?
Yeah, it's a sad loss for South African boxing, for losing a hero and a big man like Corey Sanders. I personally knew Corey as a personal friend, and Corey was ringside with me since I was in my amateur days, and the night I won the world title, Corey was ringside as well, and like I said, I bumped into him a few times. I knew him personally, and it's a big loss for South Africa. And we don't have, I think, to fulfill Corey Sanders' shoes in South Africa as a heavyweight boxer. It won't happen easily. Corey brought something to South African heavyweight boxing that I sadly believe we will not see for a very long time in South Africa.
And I got to give my condolences to you, Chris. We're unaware, I'm sure, about your relationship, and I can only imagine what his family and close friends are, going through right now. But, always, especially coming from myself, and I know, we've all kind of paid our own tribute to Corey in the best way we could throughout the, from being on the show. And, all I can say is, God bless Corey Sanders up there looking down on us in heaven. And, Chris, I know for you, hopefully in February you give one heck of a fight, man, and just boxing in general. Hopefully you get to look down on here and over the next, eternity, get to see nothing but some great fights because, he's a champ in all our hearts. So definitely appreciate you sharing that story with us, Chris.
No, thank you. It's a pleasure and it's a big honor for me to be on your show as well. And, yeah, like you said, Corey's in a better place now. Corey's up with our Heavenly Father. He's in Jesus' arms now and looking down to us. And you know what? He's where everyone want to be, and that's with Jesus. So he's in a safe place, and I'm just happy to be part of this.
I'm going to pass you over. I want to introduce you, Chris, to Michael Doss. He's definitely intrigued with you being on here. Michael Doss, he's actually here. He's actually on the show from Louisiana here in the United States. Michael Doss, you're on with the Heat, Chris Van Heerden.
Hey, Chris, how you doing, man?
Hey, Michael, I'm very fine. How you doing, my man?
Doing good. One question I had, South Africa, has a very rich history, has some good fighters, but the only thing about a lot of South African fighters, lately we've been seeing from South Africa coming to the States, basically fighting champions, losing, even going to Mexico and just going everywhere else. But you're not really seeing a lot of South African guys, being based in the States and really being in the States. And you guys got a good style. You got several guys that has, lately, like Brian Mitchell came up. He started fighting. Very, very talented guy back in the 90s. You had, like, the aforementioned Corey Sanders. You had, like, I think Ali Funika fought. But you don't have a lot. What I'm saying is a lot of the South African champions that they're taking over, they're losing their belts, and that's what they're there for. They're just bringing them over basically for a title. What are your thoughts about that? And what are your thoughts about basically coming to the States and being an American fighter, or do you feel more comfortable fighting in South Africa?
I would have passed you over. I want to introduce you, Chris, to Michael Doss. He's actually here. He's actually on the show from Louisiana here in the United States. Michael Doss, he's actually
You know what? As a fighter, I've got to say, as a world champion coming from South Africa, I have to agree with you. You know, it is very sad in a way that we have the talent. We have a lot of talent, and for instance, Marucci Mthalane is the IBF world champion. But when it comes to, I don't know, I think it's a mental thing for these guys. I don't think they get prepared well. I don't know, but the moment we step our feet out of South Africa, a lot of the guys, and they go to the States or they go to Mexico. For some reason, I don't know. I think the occasion is too big for the guys. But yeah, we got a big nation this side, and the sport of boxing, we got a lot of talent. But for some reason, I don't think the guys are mentally prepared for whatever is in America or US or in Mexico or in Germany or wherever. But as a fighter myself, I think you should be mentally, as you should be physically prepared and fit. You should be mentally prepared as well. And that's I think that's where the big lack is. So fighting. My dream is to fight in America, man. That's my biggest dream, is just to get to the States and fight in Las Vegas or wherever. That's my biggest dream. I can't wait for that opportunity to come and just showcase talent, because, like you said, we had Brian Mitchell, we had Cody Saunders, we even had the Gerrie Coetzee. We had quite some good boxers, and it's, like you said, sadly it's a long time ago. And I think it's time to. That's why I'm super excited to just get out there, because I believe fully. You know what? I'm blessed, man. God has blessed me. Jesus has blessed me with the talent, and I feel my purpose is to, wherever I go, just to get out there and to show my warrior heart.
Well, let me ask you this: you got Matthew Hatton coming up pretty soon, a pretty tough guy. You know, he did go up and weight before and fought Canelo Alvarez. He's had a lot more experience than you have. Give us a little bit of information about what you think of Matthew Hatton, and how do you think that the fight will play out?
Absolutely, man. You know what? I'm fighting Matthew Hatton, the brother of Ricky Hatton. And I respect every guy that steps in the ring with me. And like I'm fighting Matthew, this is an honor for me as a youngster of 25 years old. And to fight Matthew Hatton with a big name like he's got by facing Alvarez and fighting those guys. But the fact is, people shouldn't look at it like he fought Alvarez. The fact is, he lost to Alvarez. Yes, Matthew Hatton is one tough guy, man. Matthew Hatton can take a punch. I've watched it. I've studied some of his fights. He can take punches. He can throw punches. But Matthew Hatton is not unbeatable. And I'm super excited for this fight to happen. You know what? I fought the guy, my last fight, I fought a guy called Sebastian Lujan from Argentina with exactly almost the same record as Matthew, with 50 professional fights. And also he fought the big names and also didn't get knocked out. He lost. He didn't get knocked out. And it was a big step for me to fight this Lujan. And once I faced Lujan, I saw that, you know what, at the end of the day, we all fighters. At the end of the day, I don't care which country you're from, who you're from. You got to have the heart. You got to believe in Jesus Christ, and you got to do your training. And on fight night, it's you and the guy in front of you, your opponent. So with the fight with Matthew Hatton, I'm super excited. It's going to put me on a level to see where I'm based at. And this fight is going to give me the respect I think I deserve. And I'm confidently and positively telling you that this fight will be a victory for me. I will still be a champion of the world after this fight. If this got 12 rounds, it goes 12 rounds. But I'm predicting a win. I'm predicting a war. But come to Africa, you come to South Africa, Matthew Hatton is in for one massive fight.
Hey, Chris, let me jump in here for just a second. And this is on this fight. I got to ask you like this. You know, I think we've heard about this fight being signed, if I'm not mistaken, a month or two ago. What's behind it being signed 6-7 months? Because, you know, they have it down February 2nd, 2013. Why is it, you know, so far in between the sign date to the actual fight date?
Yeah, the fight is signed for 2 February down in 2013. I'm fighting under a new promotion. I was fighting under Golden Gloves Promotions down in South Africa, and I'm happy to say that I've moved promotions to a new promoter on the scene, Damien Michael, that runs Show Pony Promotions down in South Africa. And I let me tell you, this guy his mind is something else. This guy is thinking out of the box. And what this oak is going to bring to you and bring to the world, whoever this sees, on February is something amazing. And I understand, like you say, the fight date is signed out a long way. But Matthew Hatton has got a fight on, I think, around about now. In October, he's got a fight on. So we couldn't sign anything too close. And with seeing my promoter, the promoter I was with Golden Gloves, I had to get out of the contract. I had to wait for the time for the contract to expire. In fact, for me to fight in Show Pony Promotions. And that's why the fight will take place down in February.
Now, Chris, you mentioned right there, and I'm just getting the notes in it. Matthew has a fight in October now. I think it's about a week away, if I'm not mistaken. If, let's say, something happens and, he's fighting a guy by the name of Michael Lomax, 18-4, not very familiar with him. Oh, actually, October 12th. If Michael Lomax pulls off the upset against Matthew Hatton, does that jeopardize the fight?
No, it doesn't jeopardize the fight. The fight with me and Matthew will still take place. I'm not definitely sure if it will still be for the world title then, but the fight between me and Matthew Hatton will still take place because we want to show the world that even though Matthew Hatton fought Alvarez, this is just to show the world that the South African-born, the Heat, can face these boys. And I just want to... It's a name we want on our cards and a victory we want on our cards. And so I'm happy to say the fight will still take place. And either way. And it'll just depend if it's still for the world title or what will happen. Maybe we'll just say 10 round. I'm not sure.
All right, now, Chris, one more, and I'm going to pass you over to Mark Abrams, Tim Cudges. You have Ricky Hatton announcing actually today his opponent being a former world champion, former WBA welterweight champion, Vitaly Sachenko. Now, let me ask you this. You go February, on the 2nd of February. If you give Matthew Hatton a good enough beating on that day, you think that might lure Ricky Hatton to, challenge you as maybe a revenge fight? Has that ever crossed your mind? After this, hey, you might, kind of like how the Klitschko brothers did it before when Corey and knocked out one, he fought Vitaly, and Vitaly got revenge on Corey Sanders. Has that crossed your mind with this fight being signed? Also, now that Ricky Hatton has announced his return to boxing.
Absolutely, this has crossed our mind. This is the plan. This is my plan. You know what? I'm calling it out. This is what I want to do. I'm going to give the younger brother, Matthew Hatton, I'm going to beat him. And I'm still going to be champion of the world. And I'm going to call the older brother, Ricky Hatton, out. I'm going to call him out and ask him to defend the Hatton surname and defend the honor of the Hatton family, because I'm going to get the brother hiding. And I would love, it would be an honor, it would be a dream come true for me to fight Ricky Hatton. I just wish after I beat Matthew Hatton, that Ricky Hatton would accept if I call his name out. If Ricky Hatton doesn't want to step up and defend the honor of the brother, there's a few names we want to call out, and I think there's a few names I can go 12 rounds with, like the looks of Paulie Malignaggi. Me and Paulie had our fair share of words on Twitter, and I said to Paulie, he laughed at me when he heard I'm from South Africa. He laughed at me. He says, "Yeah, you just stay down in Africa because nothing's happening with you, boy." And this is going to be a message as well to Paulie Malignaggi after I give Matthew Hatton a hiding. And Paulie Malignaggi will eventually know about this youngster from South Africa. All I want is just a little bit of respect, because I respect every single boxer out there. I respect fully, man, because this is a hard job.
I'd like to see that fight. Hey, let me pass over. I know Tim Cuttis has a quick question for you. Tim.
Hey, Chris, how's it going?
I'm very good, my man. How you doing down there?
Pretty good. All right. Well, I had a couple questions, but it seemed like mostly everybody asked my questions already. But I just wanted to make note mainly of your past two fights. You fought Kaiser Mabuza, who previously made a splash in America by stopping Kendall Holt, and Lujan, who made a splash in America. He had a really good fight against Melajan from the Philippines on ESPN.
He knocked Mark Milligan. He knocked Mark Milligan out, and he went 12 hard rounds with Mike Jones.
Yeah, and the Pacquiao undercard. Now, I'm going to try to reconstruct the question I was going to ask because it was touched on. But so fighting Matthew Hatton, who's basically a worldwide name as opposed to just, UK. He's fought big names in America. He's fought on the world level. It's going to open up a lot of doors and potential championship unifications. Now, I know you said you wanted to go over in America, but what would be more important? You go fight a big fight over in America or bring the big fight to South Africa?
My man, I just lost you there for a few seconds.
I can reiterate it, Chris. I can reiterate. He said after Matthew Hatton, it has a potential of war and big fight. Basically, what he wants to know is, for a unification as far as some of the other champions that are out there, do you want to lure some of the other champions to South Africa, or would you prefer to come out to the United States for a unification bout?
Yes, that's that would be on. If I beat when I beat Matthew Hatton, we are interested in big things like I just mentioned. A lot of doors will open for me, and I think I would be so happy to fight outside of my country. I would, like I said, it's a dream for me to fight in the States. So if I can get a unification, and even if it means for me to come out of my country and fight in the States, it would be a big honor for me to do that, man.
Tim, you still there, buddy? No, I think we lost Tim. I think we lost Tim for a minute, but we basically got his question out there. From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, our good friend, Marvelous Mark Abrams, 15rounds.com. Mark.
Hey, Chris, how you doing? Actually, it's funny, a lot of the questions I was thinking were asked as well, but touching on a couple things that were said before, Mike was mentioning about a lot of these South African fighters who, win belts only to lose them in higher profile fights, and we mentioned Corey Sanders at the top being one of the influences. Who are the other South African fighters that you like to watch or maybe have impacted your career?
You know what? I grew up as my father was a heavyweight boxer in his days, and I grew up. My father almost showed me like the likes of Gerry Coetzee, Brian Mitchell, Corey Sanders, baby Jake McCullough, 4 times world champion. Hawk Makapula is also a 3 times world champion, and yes, I was looking up to all of these boys growing up as a kid, and to all of them, and Dingaan Tubela, he was a WBC world champion as well, and there's a lot of South African fighters I looked up to, and it's been a big inspiration and a big help in my career.
Why do you think, and this kind of piggybacking on Mike's question before, why do you think some of these guys, when they come to America or come to other spots around the world, have had some difficulty holding on to their titles?
My personal opinion, I don't think these guys are mentally prepared and mentally fit. I think the moment they step out of the country and into the States or Germany or wherever they step in, I think it's a mental thing. I think they lack in themselves as having a positive attitude, because this is how I see it, and I don't know if you see it the same way or whatever, but this is how I see it. It doesn't matter where I fight. It doesn't matter if I fight in the States. It doesn't matter where I fight, because at the end of the time, the same ring I'm entering in America, it's the same ring I'm fighting here in South Africa, and I'm fighting one guy, and that's the guy in front of me. And that's the same in South Africa. If you fight in South Africa, you fight one guy, and that's the guy in front of you. So I think it's a big mental lack of being mentally fit. I don't think the guys are prepared well. That's my personal opinion.
Hey, Chris, let me ask you this, and just basically one more question from you, bro. We're talking about unification. There's a few other champions out there. I know you already touched on Malinaji, who's the WBA champ, but I want to talk about a few other champions that fight here in the United States, one being the IBF Welterweight champion, Randall Bailey. He actually has a fight coming up against Devin Alexander. But, basically your thoughts, basically a quote or a comment on Randall Bailey or Devin Alexander, whoever should emerge as the victor, your thoughts on a potential fight with them, and obviously how you would defeat them if that fight was to occur.
This is funny because Bailey's name has popped up a few times, and a lot of people have said to me, Chris, brother, a fight with you and Bailey, that should be something awesome, man. And a lot of people believe, well, down here in South Africa as fans and supporters, a lot of people believe that I can stand my stand with Bailey. And I'll be watching the fight with Bailey and Alexander. I'll be watching it closely. And yes, man, I would like to just, a unification even with Bailey would be massive. And like I said, I'm a warrior in heart, man. If you don't knock me out, you in for trouble, because I'm physically and mentally prepared 200% always. I bring something. I bring excitement in South Africa as a boxer. I bring hunger, and I'm hungry. I'm so hungry for just success, man. Success is my only option in life, and all I ask for is a fair chance. You know what? For some reason, our country down here, South Africa, we don't get our fair share. I feel that we don't get our fair share in getting opportunities to fight these big names. So I'll be watching Bailey and Alexander. I'll be watching it closely, and if I can get a unification or a fight with Bailey or whoever the winner is of that fight, that also, man, would be a dream come true, and that should be big. I'd love to do that, even if it means coming out to the States and just get it on.
As a boxing fan, Chris, what's your prediction on that fight? Who do you think is going to come out victorious?
You know what, I'm just gonna go stick with Bailey. For some reason I'm just sticking with Bailey. I think Bailey will be the winner. I hope Bailey wins as well, because like I said, the name from Heerden and Bailey down this side has popped up a few times. I would like to make that a dream come true and beat Bailey. That's it. That's just the way I want it.
Once again, I want to kind of run down the two more remaining champions. You have the current interim WBC welterweight champion, Robert the Ghost Guerrero, here in the United States. I wanted to get your thoughts on a potential fight with him and an outcome on that.
Brother, this is funny. You know what, the Robert the Ghost Guerrero, he fought a guy called Malcolm Claessens. And Malcolm Claessens is down there from South Africa. And when he defeated him, in fact, he beat Malcolm Claessens on points to take the title from Malcolm. But I was Malcolm's Claessens sparring partner. We were in the same gym at that time. And they fought at the lower division. I think they fought at lightweight. And I was giving Malcolm Claessens the hiding of his life in sparring down here in training camp. And in fact, they actually took me out of sparring with Malcolm, because Malcolm I was making Malcolm look stupid. on this side. And they stopped sparring with me and Malcolm came back from the States after losing to Guerrero, and he said to me, Chris, he said, my man, I just wish we sparred more, because what you did to me in sparring, if I was still in training camp with you, Guerrero would have never beaten me. And that told me that, you know, that was a good thing for me. That was a positive part of my boxing career, because that said to me that if a man that just faced Guerrero can tell me that I've got what it takes, then that's amazing. So a fight with Guerrero would be exciting, because I sparred Malcolm Claessens and I beat the boy bad, and Malcolm Claessens lost some points to Guerrero. So yeah, man, that would be exciting as well. This is the welterweight division. I'm just happy to get a shot at any of these big boys if they will just accept a challenge from my side.
And, you know, with that being said, you know, final question for you, Chris. You know, the world, you know, the entire boxing world, no matter what continent you are on, you know, basically everybody wants to see Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Money Mayweather. The fight, it seems like it gets like it's going to happen, and then it, you know, doesn't seem like it's going to happen anymore. You know, that's obviously a fight. You get through a few of those names that I mentioned, you could be in a potential position to face one of them. But what I wanted to get from you is, if the fight Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather was to ever occur, who would you pick to win?
Mayweather. I'm not even gonna think on that. My money is on Mayweather. Mayweather is an unbelievable boxer. Mayweather is an unbelievable defensive fighter. Mayweather is an unbelievable counter puncher. You know what? And Pacquiao he's got heart. He can throw punches. But Pacquiao, for me, against Mayweather will land pretty easy on Pacquiao the moment Pacquiao's open. So to answer your question, I'm going to go with Mayweather.
Fair enough. On Twitter, you can follow Chris Van Heerden at The Heat 001. The Heat 001 on Twitter. At the end of the show, we'll send out a blast. What do we got? An extra call coming in. We'll send out a blast for, I don't know what the ringing is. Chris, you still with us? Chris. Let's see if that's